Good morning, Earthlings. And we got our radio guys going. Welcome to the show. Today is Straight Talk Thursday on Your City, Your Voice. And there's the sign, so it proves where you're at today. You're listening to Your City, Your Voice. My name is Paul Killamere. I'm the host. There's Gary Wilkins walking by right now. And we are at 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, bringing the show to you live on this rainy Thursday. What a change in the weather. Yesterday it was so hot you couldn't breathe. Hot and humid and everything else. And then all of a sudden today, when you least expected, bam, it goes from 78 when I went to bed at 11 o'clock to 65 this morning. A little bit nipply out there. But you know what? We could use the rain, so I don't mind it. We could use the rain, and the temperatures I could get by without. But it's going to be up to 71, 72, they said today, and then tomorrow 77. And then we're going to be back into a high pressure situation where we're going to get back into the 80s, have a beautiful long weekend. They're calling for sun all weekend, 1% chance of rain. So we're going to have a beautiful long weekend here. And I'm having an extra long weekend because I'm not in tomorrow. I'm not doing a Finally Friday this week. I am not doing a Monday. That's the holiday. Doing the 4-day run. My mother's 100th birthday is this weekend. We're going to celebrate it. Although her birthday is on Monday the 4th. We're going to have a little get-together at Millennium Trail Manor. That's where she is at around 1. And anybody wants to come by to say hello, there you go. We'll be there. And that's it. But, I'm going to take it easy. I got a lot of stuff to do this weekend. And then I'll be back on Trash Talking Tuesday with some more goodies for everybody, and I'm going to get some rest and relaxation. Anyway, over to my sponsors before we start the show. We got lots to talk about. I'm going to get into some viewer comments and City Council gems. Oh boy, you got to hear what I'm saying about that. But let's start with our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission. So we look at this weather, rain, go away. We know it's going to get better again. We got a whole month of August to enjoy the nice weather. And if you haven't gone away yet, you're going to be going. And you know what? You don't want to break down when you're on the road going somewhere nice. That's the worst thing that could happen. So you go to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You ask Ken Hunter to take a look at your car, throw it on his computers, his diagnostic equipment. He'll tell you error codes. He'll fix the error codes. Make sure your brakes are tip-top and you don't want any bad accidents. Your air conditioning's working. Your fluid levels are all up. Everything to set you on the road to a great vacation without breakdowns. It's all about being proactive. That's what it's about, and that's what you do when you give Ken a call. Go to wildbillsauto.ca. Check out his website. You can get a hold of him there. You can make appointments. You can do everything from there. And make sure you get your car checked. Ken's the guy to do it. And he's going to do a good job for you to make sure you have a happy motoring summer in a safe vehicle. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership, full body shop. If you're getting a fender bender or a big wreck, get your car there. They'll bring it in wrecked and send it home to you in showroom condition. It's that simple. And while you're on the internet looking at wildbillsauto.ca, why not go to our video? And why not hit subscribe? It costs nothing. It helps the algorithm. It gets the show out there to more people. You're helping us out here. And right now, we crossed the 150 subscriber barrier. Yeah, that's great. We're at 152 now with more coming. And because the more that sign up, the more it goes out there and the more people see it and they subscribe to it. It costs nothing. Why not? Hit the notification button. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave comments. We talk about them on the show. It doesn't get better than that. What do you get for free these days? You get to listen to me. That's worth something. Well, okay. That's my opinion. Okay, so some viewer comments before we get into the show. Penny Brookify, at Penny Brookify, happy 100th birthday to Paul's mom. Thank you very much. And are we all invited? Oh, hey, you want to come down to Millennium Trail Manor at 1 on Sunday, say hello? Yes, you're invited. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me the best for my mom. I'll relay it to her. My mother knows Hollywood and the Rocket and Father Leo well, so when I tell her, she'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Okay, so look, that's that comment. Thank you so much for that well wish for my mother on her 100th. At 8081 Slick, speaking of renovations at City Hall, what happened to the 300 grand meant for the handicap ramp that Ken Todd, now Ken Todd was the CAO before the Penguin, Jason Burgess, told Carolyn Iannone that was going to be done. I remember that meeting like it was yesterday. And yes, I remember that as well. I would say that it's built. It has to be built, and it's somewhere around the building. I don't know if it's coming in the back door or the front door. Either way, there's access. There has to be access. I mean, that's just a provincial regulation. That's a law. So I would imagine it was built. I don't know what it cost. I don't know where the 300,000 went, but I would imagine they did have to build it. Maybe it was included in the renovation they did. If you remember, they did a huge renovation to City Hall. The beautiful brown brick they had on the outside that made it look so iconic. They covered that in some cheap ass white stuff or whatever it is. But yeah, maybe it was done when they did that. That renovation. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we can find out from someone. At Penny Brookify, expanding city means expanding tax base. There you go. Our city is expanding. We have more people, and that means an expanding tax base. It seems the city has tons of money coming in. How it is managed is another story. The federal government is cutting jobs all over the place right now. Sometimes that's what's necessary. Hey, I agree. Contraction of government is needed. We're really, really top heavy in a lot of governments. And the operation budget is nuts. At least stop the hiring spree that's been going on. So that's Penny Brookify, and I agree 100%. City has hired about 60 new people in the last couple years, maybe more. The city has expanded, but taxpayers have paid for millions upon millions of technology, and I believe the bill is $1 million a year just to have the rights to use this technology. And that was supposed to replace personnel. In the long run, it was supposed to be cheaper because we don't need as many people when we have upgraded systems. Before it was papers being shuffled back and forth, and books. Now it's all supposed to be streamlined and run through technology. I don't know when we're going to see reductions because of this technology. And we should be seeing some savings in the Sunshine List crowd, but I haven't seen it yet. That's why we paid the big price for all the technology, right? Right. And someone must be listening to the show because I keep saying we need a full Doge on every city department. Find efficiencies and excesses and, heaven forbid, fraud. But Doge was a word used by Councillor Mona Patel on Tuesday's city council meeting. Now, isn't that interesting? I like it. I think the mayor said, wow, when he heard her say that. That's something that nobody wants to hear, especially the heads of departments. Yeah, they don't want to hear that. Now, speaking of city council, let's take a look at some city council notes. And thank you, everyone, for those comments. Really appreciate it. I always like to read the comments and reply to them. And yeah, we'll have more on Tuesday. Guarantee we'll have more by Tuesday. So overall, I watched the meeting and it went well. I think being in the Exchange, because it wasn't at City Hall, that's undergoing interior renovation now. I don't know what's going to cost that renovation, though. I didn't see it I didn't notice it in the budget or anything. So I don't know. But it's budgeted for. I'll have to run through the budget again unless somebody can tell me offhand. But it reminded me more of a congressional hearing than a council meeting. I mean, I really liked this setup, to be honest with you, and it worked well. The meeting was organized and nice. It was a nice meeting. And, I say that because sometimes the meetings aren't that nice. Um, People can be really pushy and bossy and everything else, but this meeting was nice. Maybe it was just because of the change of venue. I don't know, but it was nice. All discussions were cordial, and it went well. One of the better meetings I have seen, actually, and congratulations to everyone involved. I don't get why John Beam was not allowed to, or John Ringo Beam was not allowed to speak. And if I say John Beam, nobody knows what I'm talking about. John Ringo Beam is what they know, and nobody really explained it. I thought that was pretty odd, considering everyone should have their time at the mic. An explanation should have been in order, but we'll talk about that in a second here. When we talk about what went on in City Council. So it appears Council is learning the meaning of wants and needs. If I had to pick out two words in that meeting, wants and needs would have been the words I heard the most. And they must watch the show because I always talk about wants versus needs. And I heard it a lot on Tuesday when they were talking about the Chippewa Arena situation. I really like the way City Council dealt with this, and finally some common sense prevailed in a City Council meeting. No decision has been made at this point, but at the end of the day, it appears that they're going to approve something like this. New arena, new library, refurbish the old arena. That's what it looks like they're going to go at. But they want it. They don't, because they don't want to spend $80 million. That's the bottom line. And I'm glad they don't. They shouldn't be spending $80 million of our dollars. So wants and needs. What do we really need? We really need in Chippewa, we really need a new arena. The other one's decrepit. We really need a new arena with more change rooms and that kind of thing, more amenities for the players, the referees, and everybody else. And we also need a new library because that old library was in a decrepit building that they had to get out of. I don't know if they needed a 6,000 or 8,000 square foot one like it's being proposed, but 2,000 or 3,000 square feet. We don't need anything bigger than a library down here, probably, or anything bigger than the old one that they were using. Oh, look at the police! A lot of police around here today. What's going on? And it appears they're going to approve something like that. And if they refurbish the old one, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. If it was me, I wouldn't even bother with refurbishing the old arena. And the big thing was they're trying to push these developers and stuff about this a la carte. Like a lot of people were talking a la carte. Well, let's do this in phase one, and then we'll do that in phase two. To spread the cost over a few years rather than having to go and get a loan out for 30 or 40 million right away. Now the province is kicking in 10 million. And they kept saying, you can't do that. It's going to come out. Get out of here. You build the building. What do you do on the new arena? You put a pair of doors. And where do they go? Into a corridor. And where does that corridor go? Into the new arena that's going to be refurbished. The refurbished arena if they do it at some point in time. Or just tear it down, either way. But you can connect them all up. You can do them in phases. These people, they make stuff up, just because they want to get $80 million. Luckily, council's not being fooled by them like they were fooled with the ghetto dome. You can plan for it now. You can put doors in where you believe the next phase will need to access to. They know where they're going to put it. It's already planned out. Either way, it's a legacy project that will benefit the city for the next 50 years. It can be built in phases if the planning is there. We're going to have to loan money to do it. Taxpayers are on the hook for a generation. So, hey, let's get it done. Let's save as much money as we can for the taxpayers. Let's loan as few dollars as we need to get it done. That only makes sense. But that was a big topic of discussion. And City Council seems to have the idea. They seem to have it under control here. We'll see what the final verdict is when it comes back. But that seems to be the way they're going to go, and I don't mind it. A new arena and a library. Anything else is superfluous. They don't need it, and we got to get the wants versus needs. I'm going to say one thing here, and I'm going to say Mike Strange, Counselor Mike Strange, has a lot of balls. That's all I can say about it. The Steve Seuss guy got up there and he was talking about the indigenous and he was talking about violence, violent criminals. And he spent 5 minutes touting the greatness of Counselor Mike Strange, which is fine. He likes the guy. Okay. I like Mike too. He's a good guy. And that's fine. But Mike just couldn't leave it alone. Excuse me, he couldn't leave it alone. And he said the people that commit these crimes should be in the news so we can find out who they are. Okay, okay. And I'm going to quote him from the video. I sat and watched it and wrote it down. But they'll, the news media, he's talking about, name anybody else for doing something mediocre or not true. That took a lot of balls to say. I mean, here's a guy who is charged. He hasn't been convicted. He's just charged for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. She needed medical treatment. He was arrested and out on bail and charged. Whether he's guilty or not is another question. That's got to go through the court system. And a restraining order put on him. So where's the problem mentioning his name when this happened? He's saying people that commit these crimes should be in the news so we can find out who they are. Then when his name is in there, he says, but they'll, the news media, name anybody else for doing something mediocre or not true. So he's saying that what he was charged for in that is mediocre or not true. You know, I don't get it. If he has to go to trial, can be used against him. He's making it look like he did. It was nothing, slapping his girlfriend around or whatever he did. When it comes out, we'll find out. And then it's mediocre. I don't know if that's considered mediocre. Assault on a woman or not true. So he's saying it didn't happen. We'll find out. But either way, he's downplaying the importance of assaulting a woman. And is he blaming the victim? Like it wasn't my fault? Like, I don't know. I think he should just be quiet about this. I'll tell you. I'll tell you, I would just be crazy. I wouldn't even talk about it. I just sit there quiet, thank the guy for saying nice things about me and leaving it at that. I mean, I don't think that hitting your wife or girlfriend, her needing medical attention, him being arrested and charged, and then let out on bail with a restraining order, I don't think that's considered mediocre or not true. And you know what? He's not guilty. I mean, he's got to be found guilty, innocent until proven guilty. That's correct. But, but man, she should just shut up about it. I don't get it. What kind of a lawyer does this guy have? Like, I mean, if I was the prosecution, I'd be using all this. Everything he says when he said it before, when the women were there with their signs, everything he said about that, I'd be taking that recording. It's public record. It's recorded. I'd be saying, listen, this guy, he's just sloughing it off like nothing happened. He's not remorseful for what happened, and he definitely doesn't think it's a big deal. And he could even be blaming the victim because he says the truth will come out. It's not true. What really happened, I don't know. But anyway, that's about all I got to say about it. He's got big balls to get in there and start talking like that. And although it was an allusion, right, to his case, he can come right out and say it, but everything he said pointed to one thing. Boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, that really surprised me. That really surprised me. What are your thoughts? Am I over the edge here? Am I over the line? Maybe I am. I don't know. I just see it that way. Okay, so I see council is still afraid of the fire department. The whole conversation with the fire chief and everything about the $1 million for the next gen 911 and the dispatch was kind of a joke. Only 8 said she was very confused. And I get that feeling every meeting. And I don't know why Mike Strange, Councillor Strange, was still claiming that dispatch is needed here because time is of the essence. I mean, what does he get about technology? Consulting with Niagara helicopters, they were talking about, oh, we have to consult with Niagara. Why? They're dispatched when needed. They don't decide when they fly for the city. What do you have to talk to them about? All you have to make sure is that if they're needed, they'll fly. What do they fly? Once a year? But that's the relationship with the city, not with the fire department. It's the relationship with the city. They're good corporate citizens helping out when needed. Are they going to say no? Oh boy, no, we're not going to help out. Okay, well then here's what's going to happen, right? We have ways to deal with that as a city. Oh yeah, you know what? You're just breaking every noise law that we have here. Your choppers are too loud. You can't fly until you fix them. How about that? Oh, you're flying off the known routes this time, right? Like right over my house, making noise. How about that? Well, you can't do that anymore. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can deal with these guys if they get goofy like that, but they're not gonna, because Niagara helicopters are good corporate citizens. They've been for a long time, and it's relationship with Niagara Falls, the city, not with the fire department, that they want to help out. So that is crazy talk. The firefighters don't run the city. The city runs the fire department. That's how it's supposed to work. And Hoffman, we don't use those choppers once or twice a year, maybe. And that's on a busy summer. Remember, a lot of times the Coast Guard choppers and other choppers are involved in all this too. It's not just Niagara helicopters, although kudos to them for helping out when they're called on. They are great. I mean, we just spent $3 million, and now they want another 250,000, I think, on a new aerial unit that's supposed to get down in the gorge. The chopper shouldn't be needed as much if they can do it. We spend $3.5 million. We could have bought a chopper, bought our own chopper. But yeah, we've got that, so we're going to need the fire department less. I mean, and it's a lot of the stuff that the fire chief was saying, and I'm sure he's a good guy in that, but it's a lot of scare tactics and fear mongering to try to get people over. And my question to council is, what's confusing about saving taxpayers over $1 million on the capital budget and maybe $500,000 or more a year on the operations budget by sending the dispatch to St. Catharines? I don't understand where the confusion comes in. What is so hard to understand about saving the taxpayers' money? I mean, they take care of 9 other municipalities. And I've never heard of anyone not being responded to in time. As a matter of fact, the province sets time limits that they got to respond in. And that's why we have station number 7 out on Lundy's Lane, because no other station could respond to the Southwest Niagara Falls in time. Spend a lot of money on that. So the argument that time is this and blah, 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 it's not hard to understand. Either you want to save the city money, the taxpayers' money. If you want to save the taxpayers' money or not. Are you confused about that, only 8? What's so confusing? I'm telling you, if people couldn't be dispatched out of these other cities by St. Catharines, they pull out fast. Because the one thing they did say that is right is that time is of the essence. You got to dispatch and get them there in time, but they can do it. They don't have to be in the city. And if we can save $1 million, a $1.2 million capital cost on the next Gen 911, and another 500,000 or more a year, then why wouldn't we? It's crazy. I mean, Fort Erie's dispatch from Tilsonburg. So that argument doesn't fly. So what the council do? They gave the Penguin the order to look into moving dispatch to St. Catharines because their bad decision 18 months ago, last February 2024, had brought us to this point, and now our CAO Jason Burgess says, well, hopefully we can still save that much money because we might not be able to. Blah 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 blah. So we'll see what happens. Now it's coming back. Stay tuned for this one because there's more to come, and I'm going to be right on it. Believe me. Okay, another point. I think finally the Penguin, Jason Burgess, our CAO, is standing up and laying the truth on everybody. And the truth is that we can't afford to do a lot of the things that this city council wants to do. And the other truth is that who promised anybody in this city a swimming pool in every neighborhood, or 1,000 million walking trails, or anything else? We've been spoiled. We've been spoiled in Niagara Falls because we have all these amenities, and now people come to take them for granted, and they want them. They don't need them. We don't need another walking trail in this city. Wants and needs. We don't need it, but they're spending 17 million taxpayer dollars on it while our roads are in a state of disrepair. Who needs another walking trail? And this is why they're blowing money. They're blowing money like crazy on $25,000 concrete ping pong tables. This is the kind of crap that we got to stop. And Jason Burgess, our CAO, he knows it. He rips his hair out thinking about this. He can't sleep at night, I'll bet you. These guys crunch numbers. That's what they do. When the numbers don't work, they hate it. And he knows darn well that this city council is a bunch of spendthrifts, and he's trying his best to save them from themselves. But he won't be able to. He won't be able to. It's impossible. Because they listen to the people of this city, and the people of this city thinks it's built into the Charter of Rights and Freedoms that they have a swimming pool in every neighborhood and a park in every neighborhood, and pickleball courts and tennis courts and bocce courts and any other crazy scheme that you can think of that was fine when the city was flush with money and everything was going great. We're in bad times now. We're getting hit by 25% tax increase over the last 4 years, and we're looking at another 6% this year. And the region's broke. Somebody has to stop it. Can we expect the people who created the problem to stop it? No, we can't. So somebody's got to step up. And if it isn't Jason Burgess, I don't know who it is, because the mayor will never do it. And council will never do it. Just watch the meetings. You'll know what I'm talking about. And if I'm on the line, comment on the video. And I think these counselors are listening to this show, because I heard a lot of stuff on at the meeting that I've said on this show for a long time. And they're using words that I use all the time. They got to smarten up. So we're going to get to a couple more things, but I got to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue first. We're going to go into Counselor Triple F, Mona Patel, and see what she had to say here when I get finished talking about Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Here's a weird thing. When you get a pizza, what do you look for? Well, fresh toppings, number one. Really good sauce, really good crust. The right ratio of cheese to sauce. That's important. And consistency. It's if you don't do it right, the taste isn't there the same all the time. Pete's Pizza knows how to make a pizza. They use the Mancini family recipe that's been around for 40 years, tried, tested, and true for their sauce and their crust. They take a blend of Saputo mozzarella and brick cheese for the cheese. They mix it in the right ratio, put it in the oven, cook it just right, fresh toppings. You can't beat it. You gotta try this pizza. And how do you get one? 905-374-2222. You can order right on the phone, or go to their website, petespizzavictoria.ca, order online. And if you're not a big fan of pizza, they have all kinds of good things on their menu. They have a whole range of things. steak and cheese poutine, just regular fries for that matter. Panzerotti. They have steak subs. They have a whole 3 fold-out pages of good stuff on their menu, and they know how to cook it all right. They just came out with a new sandwich. I think they came out with it, chicken parm. Very, very, very good. Anyway, all you have to do is order pizza. You know you want one. You know you want it hot and fresh, and that's what you get, and it's going to be good consistently. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Support our sponsors because they support the city. They're good corporate citizens, and they support this show. Tell them Paul from your city, your boy sent you. Okay, so Counselor Triple F. I'm getting a little bit more respect for every meeting, believe it or not. I really, really am. I'm not a big fan, but she's starting to learn. She's starting to learn. And she said it, Niagara Falls needs a Doge. And man, I love it because I sit here with my Doge t-shirt on looking for efficiencies all the time. And when I go through the budget, that's what I look for. And I came up with a lot of recommendations last year. Between me and Gary Wilkins, we have been talking about Doge for a long time now. We both have the t-shirts. We both wear them. And we even created a Facebook page for it, Doge Niagara. You can go there. You can report waste or government waste, and we'll get on it. Doge Niagara on Facebook. DOGE Niagara. And it's about it's about time somebody said a deep dive is needed, department by department, for efficiency. It's time to call these departments out and find out exactly what's going on with our money. We need it, especially the OLG funds. This is a mystery that nobody will touch, and all we get is gaslighting from city council most of the time. Maybe, just maybe, these departments are going to be taken to task, and hopefully efficiencies will be found. And I wish they could get a third party in to do it, because we need a third party in there taking a critical look at it, like Elon Musk did. I think when I'm not sure who said it. I think it could have been King James the Weird. Said "Wow" when Patel did the Dodge dance, and I love it. Our Doge, I should say, Doge, not Dodge, Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. Mona Patel did the dance. I liked it. Good job. Speaking of weird, figure this one out. The city's going to spend $350,000 to pave the grass area for city worker parking. So if you go up to Erie Avenue here, the corner of Erie and Queen Street, the parking is on the old King Eddie parking lot. That's on the corner of Zimmerman and Queen. So up across from where the King Eddie used to be, there's all this parking. There used to be CP Rail. We bought it. The city bought it. It's vacant land we can use for parking, and they're using it now for parking. They're parking on grass and gravel. So they're going to take $350,000. I think that was the number, and they're going to pave all this for city worker parking. Because their King Eddie free parking is going to build the new student housing for the University of Niagara Falls. Okay, fair enough. So my thing is, the city council, why aren't you charging them to park there? You're going to put $350,000 on city taxpayers for free parking for city employees. Okay, I don't think so. I think they should pay a monthly fee to park there. They do in Toronto. There's nothing free. And people are going to say, oh, city go. Hey, go tell that to the employees at the Greater Niagara General Hospital who have to pay for parking. There's no free parking. Where's this idea of everything's free come from? We've been spoiled. That's why. They've been free parking for years. That's got to be over. You can't keep hammering the taxpayer for these things. If they want free parking and we're going to spend $350,000, they should pay for it. You figure, Eric Idle said there was 100 parking spaces at the King Eddie, and there's 75 here, so there's maybe 100, say. And you charge 50 a month to the Sunshine List people. That generate about 5,000 a month, assuming there's 100 people working at City Hall, which is probably more. 5,000 a month times 12 months is 60,000 a year times 5 years, 6 years. You've got your money back. Didn't cost taxpayers a dime. Now, of course, executives and union guys and the big shots, they're going to get free parking. That's probably part of their contractor perks. I mean, you're not going to charge the Penguin or any of these guys for parking, although you should. They're making big money. But usually executives get the perk of a parking space. The mayor. But everybody else, why aren't they paying for parking? There's no crying when the people from the hospital come and say, "Hey, we have to pay to park," and they say, "Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad." Nobody ever talks about free parking for them. So why are they gonna do it for City Hall employees? Just the point I'm making up. I wonder if anybody would move that motion. You want to see a riot? You want to see trouble at City Council? Somebody stand up and make a motion. I'd love to see it. See what happens to it. But it's true. They should be paying for parking, especially we shouldn't. The taxpayers shouldn't be paying for City Hall parking. Why should we pay? We don't park there. Now, what about the other Gale Center, McBain Center? They're public parking lots. If you want to go park there as the part of the public, you can go. So if they want to make that a public parking area where people can park there from downtown or any part of the city for that matter for free, sure. I can go park at the Gale Center. I can park at McBain Center. There's no charge. It's public. We own it. Guess what? We own that property too. We're paying to renovate it. Why can't we park there free? And if we can't park there free, it's restricted to City Hall employees, then they should pay. I don't know. That makes sense to me. Am I out of line? Maybe I am. Let me know in the comments. I depend on the comments to tell me if I'm going over the edge here. Now, John Ringo Beam was in the crowd and wanted to do a delegation. Apparently, there was a legal matter pending, and that's what they said. And the mayor said they had to consult the lawyer before he could get up. He started yelling from the audience, and he said, "This is a bunch of BS." And the mayor took a 5-minute recess to deal with it. And at the end of the day, John wasn't allowed to speak. The mayor came back eating peanuts or something. I don't know what the hell was going on. But yeah, freedom of speech is alive and well in Niagara Falls. Oh, so that's about it for City Council. That's about all I wanted to bring up. It was a pretty good meeting. Um, Nobody got out of hand. There's a couple of glitches, but you have to expect that doing it at the exchange because they're not really set up for this kind of a meeting like City Hall is, where they have the nice desk with everybody there. But I thought a lot of the counselors made a lot of sense, especially when they were talking about the arena and the fire department. A lot of people were quiet. Nobody wants to get the firefighters upset. Their department is sacrosanct. They get what they want, but they can't anymore. They can't anymore. They cost too much. $30 million is a killer. And Jason Burgess got up there, CAO, and he told it like it is. And this isn't a problem just in Niagara Falls. It's a problem all over Ontario, all over Canada. I mean, Barrie does twice the fire calls that we do, and they do it for the same amount. So what are our guys doing? We have half the calls. I went through the numbers before. You can go through the numbers, look them up. They're right there. But at the end of the day, yeah, things are going to change. They got to change, and that's all there is to it. And I think Vince Cario was pretty good. He got up and he made sense of all this too. A lot of the counselors did, to be honest with you, because they see that they can't spend $80 million on Chippewa on the new arena, and they see that there's got to be some cuts somewhere. We just can't keep hammering taxpayers every year. They can't. They can't. Okay, let's move on to another circus. The Pierre Poilievre, or whatever he's called, PP, I call him, election that's going to happen in Alberta. Remember, he couldn't win his Ottawa seat, so they had to throw the guy in an Alberta riding that was a cinch that he won. so that PP can run there and get elected. Well, in Ottawa, there was like 91 candidates on the ballot. This outfit, oh man, this outfit called the Longest Ballot Committee. They want election reform. They had 91 people running, and now they're in the Little Crow's Feet or whatever the heck it's called there, Battle River Crowfoot riding in Alberta, and there's 209 candidates on the ballot now. Canada is such a joke. 209 people on the ballot, and only about 7 of them are affiliated with any real party, like different parties around, Green Party and Wild Rose Party and everything else out there. And the Longest Ballot Committee has got not 209 people, and it's such a kerfluffle, such a big disaster that they threw away the ballot with all the names on it that you usually see, and they have a piece of paper now that you write in the name of the guy you want to vote for. And there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it because this is the way elections are run in Canada. $100 and 25 names, and you can be on the ballot. It's crazy. Now, the guy who won this little bark, what the heck's it called here? Battle River Crowfoot. The guy who won it won with 83% of the vote. Like, this has been in the conservative pockets for 25 years, or something. And it happens the same all the time. 83% of the vote. And they figure they're going to send Pierre Poilievre, they're going to send him there, PP, to run because it's a cinch. He can't be beat there, even though he had his riding in Ottawa for 20 years and he got beat there. They gave him he's the biggest, bestest one in the country. Oh man, if he loses this, can you imagine if he loses this? This guy, I think this guy's done anyway, to be honest with you. Now, he says the 209 candidates is a stunt, a deliberate attempt to manipulate the rules, and blatant abuse of the electoral system. Some of the people that signed up did so because they didn't elect the party in that riding as much as the candidate. And when Damien Kurek stepped down to give PP the riding, they were mad. They said, hold it now. We elected this guy. We didn't elect Pierre Poilievre, PP, or the Conservatives. We elected him because he's best for a riding. He happens to be a Conservative. And of course, without the seat, PP cannot participate in Parliament. I mean, if he loses this one, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'd say it's over for him if he loses this. And I think even if he wins it, it's still over for him. The guy right now is long forgotten by voters. They're looking for a new leader for the Conservative Party. The last election, this guy had a 20% lead in the polls, a 20-point lead in the polls. And he lost to this pencil neck geek, Chili Concarney. How do you blow a 20-point? I mean, yeah, he's just not the guy. He's just not the guy. He's done, let's face it. And I know all the conservatives can say, oh, no, he's still good. Everybody still love him. You know what? Well, if he loses this, he's out for sure. But I think even if he wins it, he's out. This guy just isn't electable. I don't know why. And I always got that feeling. I said, I just didn't feel this guy. I just didn't get anything from this guy. There's no passion there. No emotion. Very robotic, very canned. He just didn't show anything. And that's why. I mean, he lost for a reason. He lost to a rookie. So that's even crazier. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it happens. Okay. I did a Whatever Happened to a few months back about this goofy hovercraft that's allegedly going to run between St. Catharines and Toronto. Now, I got to get to my third sponsor before I talk about this, but I am going to talk about this. My third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And when you get to industry coming to Niagara Falls, they always look for one thing. They look for machine companies, because if they break down, they need machine companies to help them repair their machines, to do whatever they need to get up and running again, because time is money. Let's face it, time is money. So what do? They turn to Hamel Machine Company. Been around since 1948, has served industry well. But Hamel's a little bit different than maybe a lot of the smaller machine shops because they have the people there that can innovate. When something breaks down, they don't just fix it or re engineer it, they make it better. Their goal is to make it better so that they can get more production out of the piece of equipment, and they innovate. They create parts that are needed that these industries don't have. They did it for the hydroponics industry for harvesting their agriculture, and it made it faster. They ship the parts all over the world. They did it for Rich's products. They do it for the wine industry all the time. They work with the city, the region. Anybody who needs metal work done, things fabricated, they have a 3D printer or any of that kind of thing, they do it. That's what Hamel Machine Company does, and they've been doing since 1948. But they haven't forgot about you, the little guy. If you need something fixed, you need something repaired, you need something fabricated, designed, they can do it all. They have the people, they have the technology to be able to do it. Hamel Machine Company, go to hamelmachine.ca to check out all the great stuff they've done. You'll be blown away. You'll be blown away by what they do. This company that's been around since 1948 in Niagara Falls. If you give them a call, tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Support our sponsors because they support the show. They're good corporate citizens and they support the beautiful city of Niagara Falls. So, this goofy hovercraft. Remember, it was going to run between St. Catharines and Toronto. We hadn't heard a lot about it. I talked about it maybe 6 months ago. I talked about what was going on with them. I mean, this idea has been tried many times and never worked. Never worked. Not even once. Not even once. So I don't expect this time to be any different if it even gets off the ground. And I made the case that the crafts, two of them, haven't even been started yet. They haven't been started to be built yet. The company Hoverlink has been releasing statements for 3 years now and finally got approval for the use of Toronto Island as their terminal in Toronto. And now I got Gary Wilkins out here interrupting my show, by the way. There's 4 city employees parked over there doing nothing. There's my Doge guy. I love him. I love you, Gary. Thank you very much. Okay, let's investigate. Somebody go and investigate the 4 city employees doing nothing, parked over there at the old railway tracks. What are they doing? See, there's Doge in action. If anybody's listening, go check them out, see what they're up to. But anyway, so this hovercraft that's going to go, they're going to go from Port Weller. They're going to build a terminal and go over to Toronto Island, where they got a permission for another terminal. And so this has all been planned. So what's next, allegedly? Because we've heard a lot of talk, but no action. Well, they're going to build their terminals at point A and B, and the boats are going to be built in Canada because of tariffs, which is another interesting fact. They should be done in 2027. And so I'm guessing that passengers will be able to start the trip in 2028. But I wouldn't put a dime on that bet. I guess I'm just cynical. Throughout my lifetime, I've seen so many of these projects that are going to do this same thing fail. They never worked. They're not convenient. They're not cheap enough. And by the time you load and unload, they don't save any time. You gotta load the boats up, and then you gotta take them across the lake, and then you gotta unload them. And once you get there, you got no way to get around. You're gonna have to get public transportation to go wherever you want to go. I mean, that just doesn't beat the convenience of having a car. Take your car, you drive your car, you go to Toronto, you go where you got to go, you get there when you want, you leave when you want. It's hard to beat that kind of convenience. So at the end of the day, I don't see it working. Now their claim was that they're going to be carrying cargo too, and the cargo will pay most of the way, not the people. But they haven't said how much it's going to cost yet. And when that comes out, I'll be crazy. We've seen all kinds of schemes: hydrofoils, hovercrafts. We've seen airplanes that were going to fly from Niagara District Airport to Toronto, get you there in a half an hour, but it's still a problem where you don't have a vehicle at the other end. And by the time you get there and do all the other stuff and get around, you might as well take your car. Convenience of having your own wheels, it's what makes driving so attractive, and you're not that far away. Now, I just don't think it'll work. I'll be surprised if it makes one trip. And if it does make one trip, God bless them, but it probably won't last long. And I think when it comes down to the cost of building these hovercrafts and everything else, cost of building terminals at each end, and everything else that goes with it, I think it's just, I don't think they're going to be able to make the money back. I can't imagine what they're going to charge, but if it's, $100 each way or some crazy thing, it's going to be almost impossible. So we'll see. Stay tuned for this one, but it's in the news again, and that's pretty cool. At least they're staying in the news and letting us know what's going on. Okay, another huge earthquake in Kamchatka. It was 8.8 this time, and this is getting to be serious. There was tsunami warnings in Japan and right down the coast in the Philippines and all the way down the coast of into California. And we know a big one is due in California. It's way overdue. They're in the crosshairs. Luckily, the fault near Kamchatka is the Kuril Kamchatka fault, where the Pacific plate is sliding underneath the Atlantic plate, underneath the North Atlantic plate, it's called. Not part of the San Andreas fault that runs through California, where the Pacific plate and North America plate slide against each other. So you have one that's going like this underneath the other and shifting it up, and that's where the tsunami comes from. And then you have one that's going like this, back and forth. It's sliding against it. Now, over the years, that sliding against it, it's jammed by rock and everything. But eventually, it lets go and shifts, and that's when you get the earthquake. Now, those kind of earthquakes, they're called slip strike earthquakes, don't produce usually more than eight or so. That's one of the highest that they produce. It's the other ones, the ones that go underneath each other, the subduction ones. They're the ones that cause the 8+ earthquakes, and they're the ones we've been seeing in Kamchatka, and there's one down in Indonesia somewhere. They're going off all the time in the Ring of Fire, it's called. So they're starting to happen, and they're happening all the time. I think there was another one this morning, a 6.6. They're just going. There was 150 of them in the last 24 hours. It's crazy, and California is going to get nailed by one of these. It's only a matter of time. So that's not good. That's not good by any stretch of the imagination. Over to our buddy Hulk Hogan. I want to talk about him for a minute. He died. We know he died. I want to talk about that for a minute. But first, I got to get to my last sponsor, Niagara Parks Commission. And, we live in Niagara Falls, and there's a lot of beauty in Niagara Falls. And the Niagara Parks Commission is the custodian of 32 miles of the most beautiful parkland in Canada, with the centerpiece being one of the 7 wonders of the world, Niagara Falls, the actual falls themselves. And the parks just don't take care of that 32 miles of parkland that runs from Fort Erie to Niagara on the Lake. They have attractions for everybody so that you can witness things like a grade 6 rapid, some of the most dangerous rapids in the world. And you can see the Niagara Falls, but not just look at it. Get up close and personal with the scenic tunnels at the Table Rock House, where you can look straight up at the falls. You're right at the falls. It's falling right in front of you. And they have old power stations that supplied power for all the Northeast that have been mothballed now, but have been refurbished so that you can see them. You can take a tour of them, see how they work, and go down to the waste tunnels where the water that turned the turbines comes out and goes into the Niagara River at the base of the falls. Go right out there and see it. You're standing right there. It's totally amazing. They have zip lines. They have a Spanish aerial car that goes right over the whirlpool. They have the Great Gorge Strip where you see the rapids. They have the Glen. You can get right down by the river. They have so many different attractions. It's unbelievable. And they offer a great attractions pass where you can get access to a bunch of different attractions for one low price. It's amazing. And they even have parking passes for people in Ontario, I believe, where you pay one price, $50, and you could go down there anytime you want and enjoy the beauty of the Niagara Falls and the Niagara Parkway. Niagara Parks Commission are the people who take care of it. You can even see Bob Gale's goats. That's right. He's got a herd of goats taking care of grass cutting responsibilities. Unbelievable. There's so much to do, so beautiful. And in the city, we take it for granted. I mean, I could sit in my front porch and hear the falls at night. It's crazy to have something like that right in our backyard, and we don't take advantage of it as much as we should. But the tourists sure love it. 14 million people here a year, and they're blown away. Believe me, you come to Niagara Falls, you will be blown away by the Parks Commission and Niagara Falls itself. Go to NiagaraParks.com. You can see everything they have to offer, all the attractions, the special prices. Go check it out, and you're going to be happy. And please come on to Niagara Falls and see it. For the locals, get down there. Go see it. It's amazing, and it's getting better all the time. The Niagara Parks Commission with its attractions, restaurants, and everything else. Okay, so Hulk Hogan, we know he died, and I read an interesting story saying that the death is now being investigated as a possible homicide. I'm going, wow, that's pretty wild. Hogan was found in his home alone in the gym and was found by his son Nick. Called 911, but it was too late. The Hulkster was dead. Apparently, he received a call, just a 30-second call that morning before they found him. The FBI was tracking that call down to see where it came from. Hogan's wife was out of town for a few days. He was in his gym, which was perfectly in order, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing moved, nothing out of place. He wasn't working out at the time. He had no heart issues. He was in the hospital for an operation on his neck, his vertebrae, due to pain from years of wrestling. He's had both knees done, replaced, both hips replaced, the surgeries on his back, but nothing that would drop him dead on the floor. The day before he died, he had a full day, and according to his friends with him that day, Jimmy Hart being one of them, said that he was in great shape and not acting like someone about to check out. He went to karaoke with his son that night, sang songs, had a great time. That afternoon, he went to the beach and posted a picture of him on the beach saying, "Beach Day sponsored by the Brotherhood." That's right, brother. In the morning, he signed a deal with Fox Nation to launch a new wrestling league, Real American Freestyle, with the first event set for August. So they're saying that doesn't sound like a guy who was in any distress or ready to check out. Now, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, warned Hogan he was getting involved in a business venture with some unsavory characters and advised him to stay away from them. Interesting. So stay tuned to this one. I think there's a lot more to tell about this untimely death. I don't know what it is, but where there's smoke, there's fire. I can't, I'm going to be watching this real close and see what happens. If I hear any more, I'll let you know. Anyway, I got to get out of here. Talk a little bit about Chili Con Carne. He wants to recognize the Palestinian authorities, which is a story unto itself. We'll talk about that on Trash Talkin' Tuesday because I won't be here tomorrow and I won't be here on Monday. So have a great long weekend, everybody. Leave comments. Subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave comments. I always talk about them. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Hamel Machine Company. And the Niagara Parks Commission. It's going to be busy down there this weekend. It's a long weekend in Canada. And people are going to flock to Niagara Falls. They always do. It's supposed to be a terrific weekend. The weather's supposed to be beautiful. 0% chance of rain. I can't wait. It's going to be a great day. And I'm going to be celebrating, like I said, my mother's 100th birthday. God bless her. Not too many people live to be 100. She's going to be one of them. Anyway, take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. God bless you all. We'll talk to you on Tuesday at noon with Trash Talkin' Tuesday. Promises made, promises kept. Have a great weekend. See you next week.